Good evening, good evening, good evening, viewers. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
All right. Welcome to the Green Table Live Talk Show. I'm your host, Jessica Wright,
And I'm Ishonda Blue.
and we're your co owners and co hosts of Green Table Live Talk Show and your senior care experts. So, listen, before we dive in, we always have some housekeeping things that we want to make sure are happening before we do a deep dive. And so, first thing first, we want to make sure that you can hear and see us okay. So, viewers, if you would please let us know if you can hear us and see us okay. Also, we want to make sure that you are sharing this on your platform. So please hit the share button, or you can tag individuals that you know that would definitely benefit from this live. We are talking all things senior care, so caregivers, family caregivers, please tag them. Thank you, thank you, thank you for letting us know you can hear and see us okay. Wonderful. All right. Well, listen, I want to talk about what the Senior Care Green Table Talk Show is all about, right? So we are here, we come live every Monday because we want to bring information to our viewers about senior care. The senior care options. We want to make sure you all know the do's, the don'ts, the ins and outs, how to navigate when you are about to plan for seniors to receive senior care. So we really want to bring information to you so you're in the know and how you can prepare, plan to enter into the senior care arena and know your options.
That's right. To be well informed and better aware so that you guys can better plan for senior care.
All right. So we always have new viewers every Monday. We come in, our viewers are growing each Monday. We're excited about it. And so, Ishonda, can you tell our viewers a little bit about who we are?
Yeah, so we are sisters. We are registered nurses. We have over 40 something plus years of experience in long-term care, taking care of seniors. We started our own company, Innovative Senior Solutions, with a deeply personal experience of taking care of our grandmother, who was our very first client. And then we had experience taking care of and that was our paternal grandmother. And then our mother's grandmother, we were also her caregiver. So we understand the pain points here. And again, this is what we do. We do all things senior care. We have adult day centers for daytime care. We have a personal care home where people can live with us. And we also provide transportation for those who attend our day center.
Yes, so we are your senior care experts. Again, we've done all things senior care. We've been on both sides of the road, and so we just want to bring information that will be beneficial to you all as you go through this process. So, are we ready to?
We're ready. We're ready to dive in on tonight. But this is a two-part series. This is so important that we have to break it up in two parts. And then on tonight, we're going to be talking about if you have a senior loved one that has Alzheimer's or dementia, how to identify those signs. How do you know when something is not right? And I want to start with first talking about the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's. I think we even had that question the other day, and I think a lot of people are not sure. We throw those words around interchangeable and not really know what they mean. And so dementia, let's start there. Dementia is an umbrella term for any type of decline in cognitive function. It's the umbrella term. If you have any type of decline in the cognitive function, that is dementia. Now, Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia. It is a type of dementia. It's actually accounting for 60 to 80% of the cases. And this is a progressive neurological disorder characterized by memory loss, cognitive decline, and changes in behavior and personalities. And listen, your physician or your loved one physician can actually do a test to help diagnose Alzheimer's. Okay, so that is the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's. Dementia is just that catch-all umbrella term for any type of cognitive loss, right? But Alzheimer's is really a more it is the most common dementia, and again, it's more of a neurological um, disorder characterized with memory loss and other things. So I wanted to start there. I think we wanted to clarify that.
Yes.
So now we want to get into some signs and symptoms of, or letting you know when someone may be experiencing dementia or Alzheimer's. And I think we're going to talk about 3 or 4 of those on tonight, give you about 3 or 4 tips on that. So Jess, can you give us some tips on signs of dementia or Alzheimer's?
I think the number one is memory loss. Memory loss is number one. That's the forgetfulness, such as recent learned information, important dates, events, things that you know a person would know, that they have talked about, and that for some reason they have forgotten those events or those things. And we usually see it a lot. It affects short term.
I was just going to point it out. Keyword is really the recent things. Now, their long term probably is impeccable, it's intact. So they can fool you, right? So it's usually the things that are recent events, short term.
Yes.
As Jessica said, those are the things that they really kind of start having problems with.
And you really can, you can really detect this if you really just sit down for a little bit and have a conversation. Because if you just, do a quick conversation, it can be kind of tricky. But if you have a deep dive conversation with someone and you really start talking to them and they start repeating themselves and things of that nature, and you can kind of say, okay.
Yeah. I remember, Jessica, when our grandmother was first having signs and our mom was taking her to the doctor, and she would always ask our mom, what's today's date? She was trying to, because she knew the doctor was going to ask her and she didn't know the answer. So she was trying to get prepared for her test. So, so anyway, I just remember that when she was first experiencing some signs.
Yeah. So that's number one.
Okay. Memory loss. Number one.
Number two would be difficulty with familiar tasks. So struggling with routine tasks such as cooking, managing finances, even like buttoning the blouse, or just familiar tasks that they normally do, and they have difficulty completing and remembering those tasks, how to complete them.
Yeah, that's definitely a sign. Number 3, that's number 2. Number 3 would be confusion and disorientation. And again, that's getting lost in familiar places. I can remember we had an uncle. He grew up here in South Georgia, but he lived up north, and he used to come here a lot. And one time he came here and he rented a car. He flew here and rented a car, and then he got lost. He didn't remember things that he remembered before. He didn't remember anymore. So he had to call someone. He couldn't remember how to get to the house. So those are some signs of some early signs that there are some changes there.
And so it's very important that we are taking the time, observing when we see things, that we are acknowledging them for what they are, because these things can be life or death things that could happen. Someone driving and don't need to be driving, so definitely these kind of things. And I remember someone telling me that the person had dementia, but they somehow was walking, they got it, they caught a ride, and they ended up in another state. So, you could just be talking to someone, having a casual conversation, and you don't even realize that person didn't even realize this person had dementia.
Wow.
And they ended up in another state, and their family was looking for them. So these keys, the forgetfulness, the not able to remember familiar tasks, the confusion, these are the cardinal signs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they are. And so another sign would be language problems. That's number 4, language problems. They have difficulty finding the right words, following conversations, or understanding instructions.
Yes. And we see this a lot. So even in our day center and our personal care home, you know, they this is very frustrating to them because they know what they want to say, but they can't remember the word, or they can't put it together. So this is definitely a sign of dementia.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Which leads to the 5th tip that we're going to give on the day, the 5th sign, which is changes in mood and personality, which is partly due to what Jessica just talked about. They want to communicate something, they can't, so they get agitated, easily agitated. So, yes, number 5 would be change in mood and personality.
And we see this because um, you know, again, they want to be right. I think you talked about this when we did part 1 with my mom and my grandmother, how finances, or she will repeat the certain things, or you want to go along with those individuals. You don't ever want to go back and forth, because again, that's going to cause agitation, that's going to cause the mood changes, and what they believe, they're set in stone on that. So again, my advice, if it's nothing that's going to cause a safety issue, you would want to go along with them. You want to just play along with it. It's role playing. I would just go along with it, because again, the next day, the next couple of hours, they're not going to even remember. So it's no need to bring on more agitation, because again, it's confusion. And
So we have a question from our audience. So the question is bipolar depression an early sign of dementia? Is bipolar depression an early sign of dementia? I think it's one of those things where it's that change in mood and personality, because they it's like it is definitely a symptom of dementia, because it's like they're not who they used to be, and it's real difficult. It can get real difficult for our for loved ones, because they remember them a certain way, but all of a sudden now they're mean, or it could be just the opposite. They don't respond as much. They're not as talkative. They can just really change, and that's that change in the mood and that personality part of the disease. So
also, we see this because we do have um, some clientele with mental disorders, and they have dementia. So it's really, like you said, it's very hard to distinguish. And a lot of times they are misdiagnosed, or not diagnosed, but mistreated, medically treated, because of those diagnoses. They can be acting out, refusing medication, and it may be a mental um, issue. Maybe they're bipolar, but then they say, no, this person has dementia. And so they won't treat the bipolar. So it can be very confusing for the caregiver, the provider, because we're trying to help those individuals. But those two things are very, they're similar, and one can affect the other, and just how to treat it, it can be very difficult.
yes. So I hope we answered that question. So just summarizing here on tonight, we're talking about signs and symptoms of dementia and Alzheimer's. We gave 5 tips. We talked about how to identify if your loved one is having dementia or Alzheimer's. Number one is memory loss. Number two is difficulty with familiar tasks. Number three is confusion and disorientation. 4 is language problems. 5 is changes in mood and personality. Those are 5 tips on tonight to help you identify if your loved one may be experiencing early signs of Alzheimer's and dementia. And earlier on, I clarified the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's. So dementia is that it's the umbrella for any cognitive decline, but Alzheimer's is a more neurological. It is a type of dementia. It is a more neurological disorder. And again, their physician can diagnose this. So those are our tips on tonight.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful. This has been beneficial. Please, if you watch this on replay, please put replay in the chat and also ask questions. Go ahead, and if you have additional questions, we will definitely be monitoring the chat. And so we will come back and we'll answer the questions, and we may have to do a part 3. Who knows?
Yes.
This is such a vast subject topic, and is a growing problem that is we're seeing it on the increase and on the rise. And so definitely we want to bring you the information you need to be informed and make decisions. So again, thank you for tuning in.
Definitely come back next week, because next week we'll talk about when is it time to take action and what type of actions you need to take. So we'll definitely be talking about that on next Monday.
All right. So put your notifications on, tag caregivers in the chat so they can tune in, and we'll see you on next Monday. Thank you.
All right. See y'all next week.
Bye-bye.